All in Sports Network. We love sports.
Coming to you from the land of barbecue, this is the Unstable Blues.
Welcome back in. We close out the week with our breakdown of the Colts hosting the Miami Dolphins after their bye week. We'll give you our keys to the game, matchups to watch, and predictions on the game. So, let's go. All in Colts.
Hello, my name is Kevin. This is my son, Liam. And we are the Unstable Blues. Happy to present All in Colts from the Rogue Media Sports Network. That's it.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
I brought out a different hat this time.
Threw me off.
I tipped my cap.
Off.
Yeah.
Yep.
You started stumbling. I was like, uh-oh, did I do something?
It's okay. It's all right. It's
all right.
Part of it.
We roll. We
roll with the punches.
It is the day that Dallas Clark will be inducted into the Ring of Honor, that being Sunday, whenever the game comes around.
Yep.
This is fitting as he had his highest receiving yards in a game in Miami in September 2009.
Yep.
He set the fourth highest yard total from a tight end in NFL history with 183 yards and one touchdown, only 7 catches. So
he had some big ones.
Good.
He had some big ones. The old SportsCenter highlights are available online. I already checked it out of that game. It was a Monday night game, Monday Night Football game. I was confusing it with the last time. I also looked up the last time that the Colts had played those Jaguars in those uniforms in 2008. That was on a Thursday night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Incidentally, fun fact: Tony Sparano Sr., the father of the current offensive line coach for the Colts, was the coach of the Miami Dolphins, head coach that year, with the revolutionary at the time Wildcat formation.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You know the Wildcat, right?
I do.
Right.
We ran some Wildcat.
Right, like. Being from 6-man football, you're very familiar with, you can't directly do a wildcat, but you can do something similar and things like that. But the wildcat formation had never been seen before. Tony Sparano Sr. brought it from college to the NFL and put the running back right back there and, direct snap and all this stuff. And people were like, you can't do that. Actually, technically, rules say you could. So he just exploited it. Also, these teams are linked a couple different ways. Talked about this all year. The old AFC East.
True.
Bills, Jets, Patriots,
Dolphins.
Colts, and Dolphins.
Yep.
And they share a coach. Don Shula, mostly known for his coaching days in Miami because of the good teams and the perfect team in 1972, started coaching the Baltimore Colts.
Oh, is that a Baltimore Colts hat that you're wearing right now?
Yep, it is.
I didn't know if it was Baltimore or the old Indianapolis.
Nope, this is from the old Baltimore days. I actually think that this logo was actually no longer much of a thing when Shula was part of the Dolphins, but I could be mistaken. I'm not sure when they actually, sometime in the 60s when they gave this one up, I think.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
still pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. It's
all right.
Because the Dolphins also have their old logo is a animal with a helmet on.
Mm-hmm.
So
I normally go first for this, so your turn. Keys to the game.
All right, here we go. Keys to the game. Colts and Dolphins, don't back down or take anything for granted. Meaning, the Colts beat the Steelers, who were undefeated at the time. Great defense. This offense that looked like they could move up and down the field, just couldn't quite punch it in the end zone. But then they lose to an 0-4 Jaguars team, right? Up, down, up, down. This is classic Colts football that we don't want to repeat. So you just came off of a huge division win on the road. lock back in, and let's do this thing again. Let's forget that happened, and let's get busy on what needs to happen to make sure that we can get another win, right? So that's number one, right? That's the overarching principle of this week is have a short memory and move on to your next opponent, because your next opponent is the second week in a row you're going to play a team off of a bye. Pressure, contain Tyler Huntley. Okay. You got to get pressure in his face. He will get uncomfortable, but he can run it. He's fairly good at it. So make sure you contain. The week off came at the perfect time. They just came off of a win. Yes, it was against the Patriots, but they just came off of a win.
A win is a win.
That gave time for Huntley and Mike McDaniel to come up with plans and to work things up a little bit, right? Think of Matt LaFleur and Malik Willis, right? That didn't do us so hot, and so there could be a danger here as well, right? So they're going to come up with some different things. We already saw a little bit of it, that some of the offense was a little bit more open to Tyler Huntley against the Patriots than it was against the Titans. Double cover, both Tyreek and Jalen Waddle the entire time.
Okay.
Double cover them the entire time. I know that leaves the slot clear open. I'm going to get to that later, I promise. I would even put Rodney Thomas in there as an extra safety across the top. I might play and this is crazy for Gus Bradley, a 4-2 cover. What is that? 5? Is that correct? My math is correct. Yep. Cover 5, right? You are all out trying to cover everyone, keep everything in front, right? Put Rodney Thomas out there to play center field and catch anything that could go over the top to those guys, you know? Where's Odell Beckham Jr. going to line up? How dangerous will he be in his second week with the team?
Sure.
Right?
He did come off of a bye week, though, so he had the extra time.
Yeah.
So it's not like Amari Cooper or Devontae Adams jumping straight into it.
Right. I mean, he already played one game against the Patriots. That was his first game. And so now he's got the bye week, and then they got all this time to work up stuff. And so that's why this game freaks me out a little bit, right? Like, people would look at the record and they'll go, Dolphins aren't just – the Dolphins roster is still absolutely loaded, and you have to take into account every single bit of anything that you've ever seen on them from film, even from last year, because it's pretty much the same people, and it's definitely the same system. So if they can get Tyler Huntley up to the task, watch out, because he can also move better than Tua, I think, out of the pocket.
Yep.
Watch the tricky backfield stuff. They're going to bring people around. Sometimes they're going to hand it off. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll hand it off and hand it right back. Sometimes they're going to fake the handoff this way, pitch it that way. Like, what they do behind those linemen is crazy to try to mask where the ball is headed. So watch out for that stuff. HN, Mostert, Tyreek, who knows who's going to get the ball. It could even be Tyler Huntley. You ready for this one? Protect the ball, take the ball.
There it is.
You have to protect the ball. You have to take the ball. I'm emphasizing even more the taking of the ball, which has not been happening nearly at the clip that I would desire it to happen for this team. I think we've had some unlucky situations with some heels out of bounds, some different things like that. Some that should have been and weren't. I mean, Jalen Carlisle's had a chance at one this week. He was like, it was almost like Levis threw him the ball and he was wide open. It was just a little bit out of reach and he couldn't grab it, which is unfortunate because, like, we're talking about a converted safety to linebacker that you would think. Anyway, on offense, okay, I focus a lot on defense. I'm going to focus a lot on defense because I think that's the more dangerous side. On offense, quick passes, give them a taste of their own medicine, right? Use the Josh first downs and get that thing cracking.
Yeah.
Deep shots early. Jordan Poyer is out. Take advantage of that. Control the clock. Something that we have not been good at, especially under AR. Control the clock. I think we've only won time of possession one time this season. Nice, long, grinded out drives. It's what I need to see. Also, I think this is my last one. Special teams needs to make a splash play. A run back or a blocked punt or a field goal. The Dolphins missed a kick and had a bad snap on another kick versus the Patriots, but they made 3 other kicks. So I think the special teams could play a very sneaky special role in this game. What are your keys to the game?
You spend a lot of time on defense, so I'll do a little bit of defense, more time on offense.
I get it.
So my first thing on defense is they are a really fast team. They were already fast with Tua. Now they have Huntley. They're even faster. Make good tackles, fundamental tackling. I think that's one of the biggest things with this team is I tell my flag football team this. My flag football team. I tell my friends this who are on the flag football team. Keep everything in front of you. Everything's better in front of you, so you're able to pull their flag in this game. In this case, tackle. Everything is better in front of you, so you don't let up the big plays, the huge plays. Because that's how we get teams. Is we, we'll take shots deep, test their coverage and such. Good fundamental tackling, keep everything in front of you, and then have that bend, don't break defense that we continuously talk about that the Colts seem to have really well in the red zone. I think we're one of the best red zone defenses. Could be wrong. Just on preventing touchdowns, not just points, but touchdowns.
Yep.
That's really all that I have on offense. Pretty fundamental. Just play fundamental defense. But Gus, don't be too bland. Run some blitzes. Don't play too fundamental. Coach, be creative. Players, play fundamentals. On offense, I just said this a couple seconds ago. Take shots. Test the coverages. Like you said, they're missing Jordan Poyer. That is a big player. Test over the deep. Test over the top. Test him deep. Especially if you have an AR, he has a cannon. Josh Allen said it himself. AR has the biggest arm in the league. Maybe not the most accurate, but the strongest. Send Pierce over the top. Send Pittman down over the top. Send Downs on a seam through the middle. Something. On a post. Something.
Mo Alley Cox.
Someone. Send them over the top. Test the coverage. Run the ball and keep running the ball.
There it is. Yes.
Whether it's JT or Goodson or Hull, keep running the ball. Yes, I left out one person because don't let him to run the ball. So keep running the ball. It has been proven time and time again. If you run the ball, Shane says you pass the ball to score, you run the ball to win the game. That is a perfect mentality, and that is exactly what you have to do. Keep doing that. Also, don't just spread the ball around well. Don't focus on one person because then they'll keen into that, go to that guy, and then your other guys aren't being used during the game, so they aren't warm anymore. So then more tendency for stuff to go wrong. Keep the ball spread. Aaron Rodgers does this really well. He keeps the ball spread.
Joe Flacco's been doing good.
Joe Flacco has been doing well with that. Obviously, there's Josh Downs who has breakout games and stuff, but all these other people are still having good games themselves.
Yep.
And I'm going to kind of hit on your special teams as well. Rigoberto Sanchez, you are the reigning AFC player reigning AFC special teams player of the week.
That's a mouthful.
Go out and get another one. Why not?
Do
or
it.
Keep it that way. Something. Other than that, I don't really have any other keys to the game. Pretty bland game. It's not a bland team you're playing, but I think the main goal is if you can keep the game bland, you will win it because the Dolphins don't like to do that, and we tend to do that.
Run the dang ball.
Oh yeah,
I would. We've talked about this before. I would love to see like a 2-back set from the Colts. I mean, maybe a little bit difficult with JT out, but man, if you could get JT and Goodson in there as a split, run like a pistol with those two behind you and AR back there, you have no idea where the ball's going. Or go with an old school traditional eye where you put like Granson as a fullback. And you run a few plays off that are different. There's some pass, a little bit of quick game, a little bit, and then all of a sudden you hand it off to Granson.
You know who I think is better at a fullback position? Will Mallory.
He's a little tall. He's a little tall for that.
Didn't he play O-line though?
No. You're thinking of Jake Witt, who was a tight end that converted to O-line, I think.
Okay. I don't know.
I think Will Merritt.
I don't know. I feel like Kylan Granson is not bulky enough for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, but he's got the height that you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Would
Ogletree be a good one then? Because he kind of has the same height as Granson, but a little bit more beef on him.
Maybe.
But I think
maybe just put Trey as a fullback. Maybe just put Trey Sermon as a fullback.
I feel like that works.
That's a good call. Let's just keep him there. You just get your few carries, and we'll just little shoves, but we're not going to give you a bulk of the work because you're 1.6 a carry.
Mm-hmm.
Your matchups to watch. You start this time.
I think a little bit of an odd one here to start off. Okay. AR versus Joe Flacco. Who's starting? Who is starting?
Gotcha.
Who's getting the starting job? Devon Achane /
Wait. Hold on. Is this a whole discussion?
No.
Is this a debate? Because
not a debate.
Most of Colts fandom is having this debate.
We have talked about it a little bit earlier in the week. I don't think we need to go into it again. You can talk about it whenever your matchups come if you want to.
But you're talking about this now. My matchups don't have this.
Okay.
The fan base.
The fan base is Joe Flacco.
The fan base was frustrated about all these old has-been quarterbacks coming in a rotation of these guys. But now the fan base doesn't want to wait and be patient with a 4th overall pick.
I will give you my 2 cents. I have so many times.
That's a reference to yesterday.
It is. It is a reference.
You got to stick all the way
terrible dad joke.
End of that episode for that one. It's so worth it.
It was a really bad dad joke. You should add it to your database.
Oh my goodness. That's your only dad joke.
I'm not a dad.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, my 2 cents is you let AR play. I have said this so many times. Contracts are till next year for a lot of people. Let the contracts be till next year. Work for it next year.
26.
25, 20, 20 the 25, 26 season.
Rookie contract is 4 years.
Yeah.
So it's to the end of his rookie contract.
Right,
so
3 years.
2 years. 2 years. Yeah.
Let that be the case. Go for it then. You don't have to go for it now. Let AR develop. It's a much safer option for long term to let him develop. And then if it becomes more injury prone, then you look into that. But don't do anything until then. He has not Yes, he's gotten injured. That's just because he doesn't know how to take care of his body. Correct.
But Herm Edwards said, you play to win the game. Are you not playing to win the game with Joe Flacco?
Why can't you with AR? Who says you can't? Are you counting out AR?
There was a stat that said that Joe Flacco has more career touchdown passes for the Colts than Anthony Richardson does. And he's played in much less games.
Joe Flacco is more consistent. I will say that.
They failed to factor in the rushing touchdowns, and that brings it up. But, but whatever.
They just counted passing touchdowns?
Yeah.
Well, obviously AR has a different game than Joe Flacco.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I rest my case.
I like
you let the guy develop.
We're on the same page as this, but some people might get frustrated because we agree with each other too much. So every once in a while, I have a little bit of an argument. Your other matchups to watch? Go ahead. Not just Colt on Colt murder here.
Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane, if he plays against our linebackers / Nick Cross. I will always put Nick Cross in there now. Just because he has a head for the ball, which I love about him. That being EJ Speed, Zaire Franklin, and what's his name?
Carlisle?
Yes, Carlisle. We aren't number one in the league anymore for tackling. Let's get that back. We have someone, I don't remember the exact people. Someone's at 60 tackles, someone is at 61 tackles, and someone is at 62 tackles. The person in first place is at 64 tackles. 3 of our guys are 4 tackles behind. We can get
there. You go. Let's do it.
Zaire almost had it last year. Let's someone go get it. We have the people to do it. So other matchups to watch. I'm going to do another quarterback one. Our quarterback versus their eyes versus the secondary. They have a little bit of a weaker secondary. Obviously, they have Jalen Ramsey still. Weaker as in they don't have people. Not weaker than others, but they're missing a couple of people.
Yeah.
So use that to your benefit. I would say their linebacking core is weak-ish. I think ours is better than theirs. So use the middle of the field, Josh Downs, tight ends, obviously that type of stuff. Other than that, I mean, I don't have a lot this week just because, like I said, I want a bland game because I think we win the bland game.
I like it. All right. I got Jalen Jones versus Tyreek. Assume that's going to be the matchup with that. You could also go, you could look at it this way. Maybe you want size for size, and so maybe you'd put Jalen on Jalen, Jones on Waddle, and then you put Sam Womack on Tyreek because you're going similar size, right?
So does that leave Kenny against OBJ?
OBJ, they also have who's the other guy that they have? Number 9. Sorry, I should have written this down. I was watching through the Patriots game, and is it right? I think
Jonnu Smith.
Yes, Smith. They have Jonnu Smith.
He's tight end.
Okay, so all right, so he's dangerous too, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've got a ton of danger, right?
Danger Will Robinson.
Kenny, I'm gonna get to. I told you I was, but not yet. That gives you any clues for what might come. I've got Jalen Carlisle straight up against Achane because he's so dangerous out of the backfield on the edges. That's why I want my outside guy who used to be a safety out there to guard against that, to work the edges, to be ready for the screen passes and the open field tackling and all that, right? That's why, that Jalen Carlisle seemed to stick out to me as the one to take the back out of the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got Zaire Franklin and EJ Speed versus Tyler Huntley. and what he might be doing in the pass game or in the run game, or like I said, whatever's going on in the backfield. This is a big one. I'm going to give you a trenches one. Bernard Ryman versus Calais Campbell. Bernard Ryman has lofted himself into probably statistically a top 5 left tackle that we got in the 3rd round. Calais Campbell is a quintessential, perennial, all-proer, defensive lineman. And they're going to be matched up against each other all day. So that's what you got to do. The Colts run offense, whoever might be back there, versus, I picked one person, Chop Robinson. Rookie. Run at the rookie. Their run defense is not as stout as some might think. That's one of the weakest points of their defense, and so it will be even more so if you just run at the rookie, right? Just find them, run at them, okay?
So you're saying run the ball. I think you're running the ball.
I'm agreeing with you. Yes, I'm saying
away
it
from Chop Robinson.
Yep. No. Toward Chop Robinson.
Towards Chop Robinson.
Just like make a hole at him and just go at him.
Yes.
MPJ versus Jalen Ramsey. This will make 2 weeks in a row where Pittman is up against a top corner. He did all right last game. Let's let him do it again. And then I've got Josh First Downs versus Kader Kohu, I believe is how that's pronounced. Kohu. Kohou. So there's their nickel corner straight up, no backups against our definitive slot. We've mentioned that Josh First Downs is going to be a big key to this game. He has been, I think Isaiah called this on our team as the difference maker on offense for us. All these big names, and it's Josh First Downs, and he's been correct. The offense has been different when he's been in there. Just so happened that Joe Flacco came in at the same time.
Hey.
But we've already discussed that.
Yes.
Shane Steichen versus Mike McDaniel, 2 of the most creative offensive coaches in the NFL. I mentioned the other one, Matt LaFleur, earlier. And I said, and I'm going to keep saying it until it is fixed or until it is fired. And we have not shown a consistent fix. And so Gus Bradley versus Frank Smith is the offensive coordinator for the Dolphins. Of course, that's teamed up with Mike McDaniel, of course.
Yep.
Who is your all-in player to watch? Come on, Ed. You already know.
Okay. I'm going to go with an odd one here. Matt Gay. Whether he
called
can make
out
or miss.
Called out.
I'm calling him out. I am a fellow kicker myself. I'm calling him out.
Called out. I like it. Calling out the kicker. Man, you need to be in Austin on Saturday.
Yeah,
just saying.
I'm not waking up that early.
I know. But man,
maybe
you
next
could make
year.
80 grand. You could just go into Pat McAfee's pocket and be like, boop.
Yeah, because what? It's like 35 yards or something like that?
33. It's a NFL extra point. So
it's
where it's at 25, and then you 8 yards back.
Well, it wouldn't be 25. It'd be the 23 technically.
No, you go 8 yards back.
It'd be.
It's marked at the 25 is where you take the extra point from, and then 8 yards back.
That's 35 yards. Because the end zone is
15. You're right. Mark it at the 15, put it at the 23, spot it at the 23, so it's a 33-yarder. There we go.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry, I forgot the 10 yards there.
Gotcha.
I was back to these days. Goalposts on the end line. All right. Matt Gay called out. My player to watch is Kenny Moe.
Very good. Yep.
To me, he's going to have to cover so much space and communicate against this offense very well. And to me, he is the position to do it, the person to do it, because he's going to be close enough to the line where he can see all the stuff that's happening in the backfield, even better than the linebackers and the defensive line. So he's going to be able to call that out. But at the same time, he's going to have to guard his guy, press man if we're going man, or he's going to have to cover and pass his man off to the safety and cover Jonnu Smith or whoever is coming out of the backfield, or be able to sense the screens coming and come up and hit that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. With so much going on potentially with this offense, Kenny Moore has got to be it. So there you go. That's my player to watch for those reasons. What's your prediction? Score, winner, go.
21-20. I think the Dolphins are going to get a touchdown at the end of the game, and they're going to go for 2, but not get it.
Go for 2 on the road. So you have Colts 21.
I think Mike McDaniel is that kind of coach.
All right.
I mean, Dan Campbell is a safer bet to do that.
Yeah.
I think Mike McDaniel is one to do that.
All right. I have 2 score predictions. The one I think is going to happen, or the one I'm calling is going to happen because of my little stitiousness. 24-23, still a 1-point game. Dolphins win it. The Dolphins have only scored 20 or more points once when they won the opener against the Jags. That's the only other time that they've scored 20 or more. So I think that's what it takes to win. But if our defense can clamp down, I trust our offense. And so my other score prediction is Colts 41, Dolphins 10. So if that's how much of a difference I think it can make. These little things, it's a game of inches, and those little things can add up. And so if our defense can crack down and communicate on some of those things and shut them down early, our offense gets ahead. They're playing catch up. We're guarding and keeping everything in front. I think it could be a big game.
Yeah.
Big spread.
I think very valid.
Yeah, well, that is it for this week. We'll be back next week. The Unstable Pick 6 Fantasy Stable, our preview of the next game with the Colts coming down to Texas to take on a team from Houston.
This is Liam.
And this is Kevin.
Reminding you to stay all in Colts.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.